Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We are here with Brandy and Ruby and we're going to demonstrate all the obedience commands she's learned here at school. But first we're going to introduce the training equipment. Brandy's got a standard 6-foot web training leash and she keeps the bulk of that leash folded neatly in her right hand, which leaves her left hand free to make a correction. And the only correction we give here at school is a little tug and release on the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment. Now as you'll notice, Ruby is seated very nicely at Brandy's left, which is where all the obedience training takes place. And the first command we're going to demonstrate is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Ruby heel. Now at this point, Ruby's got a job to do, and that's to stay even with Brandy's left leg, no forging ahead, no lagging behind, and you'll notice whenever Brandy stops, Ruby's been trained to automatically sit and wait for another command. If you speed up, if you slow down, it's her job to adjust accordingly. If you change directions, she needs to follow suit. If she doesn't sit, then you'll see Brandy give a little correction and tell her no sit. Ruby can be a little challenging. She's a sweetheart, but she can have a little bit of a stubborn streak. So if you give her a command and she doesn't follow through, she's got to do it. Now the next command we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The sit-stay is a hand and a voice command. In the very beginning when she comes home, practice with her holding this stationary command for 30 seconds, slowly working up to 3 minutes. When Brandy returns back to her dog, she walks all the way around counterclockwise. She stops right there at heel position, and then Ruby's ready for another command and they take off heeling again. You can hear Brandy talking to her, encouraging her, praising her. Nice automatic sit. Brandy's going to show you that sit-stay one more time. Now if she gets distracted, go right back to it. Again, she's a puppy. Very common for a young puppy like that to get distracted. I'm going to have her hold this. And then instead of returning back to her, Brandy's going to call her out of that. This is the recall or the come command. You want to lighten the tone of your voice. Use that leash as a guide if you have to, but it's her job to come back to you and it's her job to sit when she gets to you. So that prevents a lot of that jumping and things like that. Nice automatic sit. Show you that sit-stay one more time. And we'll show you that come on command. Again, lighten the tone of your voice. Ruby should come all the way back and then sit. Very nice. Now if you're working in a fenced-in area or working indoors, you can drop the leash, increase the distance and the time between you and Ruby. Now the next set of commands we're going to demonstrate is going to be the down from heel position. So with your left open palm, one word firm command to down and stay. Now with the down stay at home, start off at roughly 1 minute and slowly work your way up to 5 minutes. And when you're practicing with her at home, keep your training sessions relatively short. We do multiple training sessions with the dogs here every day, but we keep them relatively short. 15 minutes, give or take, is certainly long enough. And if you didn't hear Brandy, she said no head up. If you control the dog's head, you control the dog. So we try to eliminate a lot of excess sniffing, smelling, because sniffing and smelling and all that stuff is just an added distraction. So this is your down stay. Generally your giant breeds would like to hold a down longer than a sit. Instead of returning back to her dog at this point, Brandy can call her out of that and it's Ruby come. And some of these giant breeds too are a little bit slower on the automatic sits. They're just bigger. So it takes them a little longer to sit. Very good. And then the very last command we're going to show you is going to be the distance down. And this is a little challenging for Ruby because you're not right next to her. So in the very beginning, you're only going to start off at, say, 1 foot to 2 feet away. But just like with everything else, slowly increase your distance between you and her to where you should be able to give her a distance down at minimum 6 feet, working up to 10, 15, even 20 feet. She's done a really nice job here at school. She was a challenge for us. She got a little bit of a mind of her own, but she's a sweetheart. We're going to miss her, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day, and thanks for trusting us with your girl Ruby.